Graham here. In this video, I'll be showing you how to take any DEM or digital elevation model and turn it into an STL or stereolithography model for 3D printing. This will allow you to take any terrain model and turn it into a physical 3D model that you can print and hold. So we'll begin by selecting the DEM or digital elevation model that we would like to print. I will be taking, just to illustrate this point, I'll be finding something with some variation in elevation. So I'm going to look to the border between Ohio and West Virginia. Once you have your DEM file downloaded, we're going to open up QGIS. We will open up the DEM file that we just downloaded by clicking on it in our file directory and dragging it into the blank space in our project. It'll open up a warning or a notification saying select transformation. The source file has a certain coordinate reference system that the destination project does not have. Unless you're working with specific applications, this is not entirely relevant to you, and you can just go ahead and click OK. So here we have the DEM for Raven Rock, the area that we selected. Once we have that imported, we can go up to Plugins, Manage and Install Plugins, and we're going to search DEM until we find the plugin DEM to 3D. We will install this, close out of the Plugins menu, then go up to Raster to find our raster operations, go down to DEM to 3D, select DEM 3D printing. This is going to allow us to select the layer we want to print, the print extent, and specifications about the expected output model and our 3D printer. By default, with only one layer in the project, it's going to select the layer we imported. The print extent is how much of this DEM we want to print. So there's three tools here. We can select the full extent, and you can see the marquee highlights the full extent. However, due to the projection that we've used, there are some white spaces up at the top that will not be printed. So what I recommend is either manually inputting coordinates in the X and Y here, or clicking the third icon, Draw Extent, which allows you to marquee select a specific region of your DEM. That way you don't have any white space left over. Now we'll move down to model size. The spacing, it recommends 0.2 millimeters. That's going to be our layer height. So we'll stick with 0.2 for a standard quality 3D print. The width is the print width of our 3D printer. So I'm working on an Ender 3, so it's nominal 235 square, but actual print area is 220 squared. So we will type in 220 here. We can see that the length auto scales to 280, so we will instead switch the 280 to 220. That's just due to the nature of the rectangular DEM that I selected. The scale we can leave the same, we can leave default, but we can see in here we can change the scale. Vertical exaggeration, I recommend you change this to 2 or higher just to accentuate the peaks and valleys of your model, especially if you live in a flat area or the region that you're working with is particularly flat. The last thing we need to put in is the height. What you're going to put in here is this value set to the lowest point. So here we would put in 173, hit enter, and it will automatically generate a peak model height of 9.9 millimeters for us. And we will click export to STL. The construction of the STL file could take several minutes. Do you want to continue? Yes. While this is generating the 3D model, might I recommend subscribing or liking the video, leaving a comment perhaps. Once the STL model has finished generating, we can then click OK and open up our favorite slicer for our 3D printer. I'm going to be using Cura or Cura, set up for my Creality Ender 3. So I will now import the STL file that we just generated. Here we go. This is now a fully to-scale model of the Earth, an area in Ohio labeled Raven Rock. Again, this process works for any DEM that you can input into QGIS. You can then convert it to an STL and either print it yourself on your 3D printer or send it out to be 3D printed. I hope this helped. Please consider subscribing, liking the video, and thank you for watching.